HQ build. So I'm going to start pretty much where we left off. As you can see, we have electricity, which is absolutely awesome. It feels like the building now is coming together, and this sort of vision that I had is sort of coming reality. So as you can see, we've got lights, we've got temporary lights, so we were able to work late in the evenings, and now obviously because it's autumn going into winter, we're going to get darker nights. So without further ado, let's talk about the first room that we're in, and then we'll go into the next room and the next room and the next room and the next I'm only joking. Let's have a look at this room. So, as you can see, as I said, this is the first room that you will enter when you come to the HQ, and this is potentially, or this is going to be the kitchen area, the lobby area, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be that area. So over in this corner here, there's going to be my white Herp Exotic rack, which will go there. That'll be sort of like a quarantine rack, if you like. So yeah, that's going to be there, and then basically the kitchen units are going to start from here, or the units themselves are going to start from there and move along this wall here. Originally I was going to have that back wall left open and just sort of, you know, the Balls to You logo and, you know, sort of film in front of it, and very similar to what Justin does. But I then realised that it'd be nice to actually have some work surface along here, have a couple of bar stools, because I do want to make this more of a functional room, and the reason for that is, you know, coffee machine, drinks cooler underneath, you know, sit down, you know, somewhere to sit, talk, snakes, chat, you know, look on the internet, all that sort of stuff. So I wanted somewhere for people, if they came, you know, we could sit, talk, snakes, chat, geek out, whatever you want to call it. That's what you know, my plan is. So we've got cold running water to this point here, and so the sink is going to go there, and this is also going to be a very useful area. Like I said, we are going to be able to wash tubs, clean, very functional kitchen area. Like I said, this building will have its own internet and Wi-Fi. Hopefully it'll be pretty quick, fibre optic and all that, but we'll see. As you can see at the moment, it's boarded. This isn't the final stage, obviously. This is kind of the halfway stage, let's say, or over the halfway stage. The last video, part one, you couldn't really see much because obviously it was in the dark, but now we've got plenty of light. So as you can see as well, the lights in every room will have automatic sensors, so I haven't got to worry about switching a light on and off or forgetting about a light. So I'm really pleased with the way I've thought about the electrics, and, you know, what I want to do and how I want to futurize or future-proof, let's say, moving forward. Again, temporary lighting as we move into here. This is the breeding room that you guys probably saw, but it was pitch black. As you can see, we've got plenty of plug sockets. As you can see over there, we've got a water pipe. What I wanted in this room was to be able to do the waters for the snakes easy, and what I find at the moment, where the snakes are, I'm pulling a hose pipe through the house to do the waters, and it's been so much easier with the hose pipe. So I've incorporated obviously fresh water or cold water supply there as well, and on the wall there, just somewhere around about in that area, there's going to be a hose reel for me to obviously pull out and do the waters. Particularly on this wall, it may not even be all that wall, but most of that wall, this side is going to be what I wanted, breeder males, and maybe like some more racks over here, like an overflow for females, or grow up females, should I say. But predominantly this wall is your breeder males. I wanted to be able to sort of take a male and go over to the female breeder wall, which I'll go into now, and put it in, put the male in with the female, and not have to sort of, you know, run backwards and forwards. Onto this wall. This wall here is the highest wall, obviously, of the HQ, or this side is the highest wall, which I've purposely done for breeder females. Now, on this wall here, I can actually fit, let's say, 150 breeding females if I really wanted to. At the moment, you guys know I breed for myself. This isn't a full-time job. This is just something I love doing as a hobby. But I've really enjoyed this season. It gives me the scope to sort of, if I wanted to up my production and turn it into a full-time business, I'm not going to outgrow this building too quick, so which is key. Again, we have automatic lighting in this room, and yeah, so again, I don't have to worry about forgetting to switch the lights off and all that jazz. So I've gone with 12mm laminate flooring, and the reason for this was because I researched flooring. Now, this being a wooden building, I wanted all the material within this building to be able to move and breathe and sort of expand and retract and all that sort of stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't plasterboarding the walls, because with the plasterboard in a wooden building, it can crack. So I didn't want to do that. So, but with the flooring, like I said, I could have tiled the floor, but again, with that sort of the building movement, maybe I didn't want to crack tiles, and then if anything happens and I've got to get the tiles up, it's a lot of work. With the lock and click, or with the click and lock laminate, whatever you want to call it, pretty much if I've got an issue, unclip it and away I'll go, and I can start taking up that particular area. So I'm going to, like I say, I've gone with the laminate. I didn't want to go with grey and I didn't want to go with brown, but I did like this colour, and it's like a sort of a very light grey, let's say. So really pleased with the laminate flooring. It's 12mm thick, which is absolutely like essential for having heavy objects on like racks and stuff like that. So with it being 12mm, it's ideal for weight and great weight distribution as well. Again, guys, if I've got to say anything, there's certain things you can sort of scrimp on or shave the price off certain things, but your flooring, really, you don't want to sort of shave any costs off. The wood that's underneath us, regarding the actual structure of the building, is very industrial. I forget what it is now, but anyway, it's quite. I made sure that the guys laid down some heavy flooring, and then what I did, I then laid down some insulation on top of that. Then I laid down 12mm marine plyboard, which again is strong, durable, and the way I've laid it is so it adds strength to the building, let's say. And again, when I add this flooring down, there's going to be another layer of insulation, then the flooring, and again, the way I'm going to layer that is going to go horizontal to the joists in the floor, which again help with support and weight distribution. So you can see there's a lot of thought process that's gone into this building, and I wanted to think of everything I could make better or do better, or improve on than my previous HQs. I wanted to make sure that I covered all the angles. Now, the other thing I was also trying to be conscious about was being very non-wasteful and trying to recycle a lot of material, or get recycled material as much as possible. Now, unfortunately, in the real world, recycled material isn't always the best. However, I have tried to go and sort of do my best, basically, with with the material that I've used to basically make the building. So as you can see on the walls and the ceiling, I've used OSB board, and the reason for OSB, as you can see, because of how it's constructed, it's not planed from one piece of wood. It's basically it's made from lots of different wood, but I found it to be the right material I need for this building. So on top of the OSB board, as you can see, there will be another boarding, another insulation and another boarding, but I'll go into that into another video. So let's go into the hatchling room, and we've got some boards off so I can show you exactly what's what. What you can see there is we have Celotex 50mm PIR insulation, and then I have a membrane on top of that as well, which will help with your U factor. So as you can see, again, the way I've laid the boards on the walls and on the floors and on the ceiling is purposely to help with the strength of the building. This wall, I've got left a board, and this wall, I've got left a board. As you can see, we've now finished the electrics, which is awesome. Me and my cousin have done them. A good friend of mine has basically laid all the schematics out, and I talked over with him what I wanted, as I said in the other video, and we've done it all. He's going to come in and do the checks, make sure everything's all honky-dory. But from what I've told him and from what he's told me, I can't see there being any issues. I mean, you can see that big, thick mains going in there. Ain't nothing going to trip that bad boy out. So again, I mentioned before in the videos that I wanted to make sure that a lot of the circuitry or a lot of the plugs or the rooms had their own circuit. So the technical stuff is you've got RCBOs and you've got RCDs. So I'm not going to get too much into it, but basically Incubator 1, Incubator 2, they both have their own RCBOs, which means if they trip, they're not going to trip each other and they're not going to trip anything else in this building, as will do every other circuit in this building. In the middle is going to be the hatchling rack, and also I've allowed enough space to have an overflow rack here and an overflow rack there. Pretty much gauged it or set it up so that everything has its own circuit. So again, if for example the female breeder wall goes, if something goes on there, it's not going to take out the hatchling room, nor is it going to take out the kitchen area, and the same with the kitchen area trips, it's not going to take nothing out on here. So I've really thought about the electrics, and I said in the other video why I wanted it and for what reasons, and this is it. Obviously there's going to be doors to go on there and door to go on there. Now I hear you ask me, maybe, why didn't I put a walk-in incubator? I've got the room, why didn't I do it? And it's took me a long time to get where I am now. It also takes my animals a hell of a long time and a long process to produce those eggs. Now you imagine I put them all in a walk-in incubator, and you imagine for whatever reason the walk-in incubator fails. I'm going to lose all of that year's production, if you like, all of those, you know, all that hard work, all that effort that I put in and the snakes have put in. I'm going to lose it all. So for me, I didn't want to risk anything. I've never really took to a walk-in incubator for that reason. Also, a walk-in incubator is to warm up the incubator, a walk-in incubator. So you look at it like this: the bigger the room, the more it takes to heat up. The issue is with that as well, believe it or not, is it actually cools down quick as well. Those drink coolers that I've converted, and you guys have seen the videos, are actually designed for holding a temperature, and they're designed very, very well. So for me, I just thought, what's the point in me designing a room, worrying about if it's going to work, putting all that time and effort into an incubator room or a walk-in incubator just to say I've got a walk-in incubator? For me, it just didn't make sense. Ben Rennick never had a walk-in incubator purely for them reasons, and there's a lot of breeders around the world who don't have walk-in incubators, again, for those reasons. Just because you've got a walk-in incubator doesn't make you the man, if you know what I mean. So again, I've gone over the building. Hopefully you guys, it gives you guys some food for thought, why I've done what I've done and how I've done it. And hopefully if you guys are building something like this, it'll give you some inspiration, some ideas, some maybe something to think about. If you guys would do things different, that's fantastic, because let's face it, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and my way isn't always the right way. It's the right way for me, and it works for me. It might not fit your area where you live, the climate where you live. It may well be that you need a completely different building, completely different setup, and that's completely understandable. And that's where you've got to work out what's going to work for you where you live in the world. Hope you've enjoyed this part of the video, guys. I'm not sure if I'll attach on another segment yet, but so far, as you can see, the HQ is coming on. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to get in here. I can't wait to get the rack set up, and I can't wait to share it with you all. I'm just buzzing, honestly, guys. I just can't tell you how I feel. It's absolutely awesome. So for now, hope you're all well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your support. Loads more videos coming, loads of stuff, trust me, and I can't wait to share the finished product with you guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.